would you say you've seen the most tangible impact?
The first tangible impact was the suggestive selling, right? So immediately out the gate, what we started to see were things were starting to be sold that weren't usually sold. And a really good example I've got for you here is coffee syrup, right? And any coffee shop operator will immediately go, we solved this problem 20 years ago. But for us, we're not a coffee brand, right? What we started to see was on the tablets, because of the way it's structured, when somebody orders a coffee, you naturally get a prompt to say, hey, would you like to order some syrups? And what we do know from our data is the sale of syrups in coffees has increased 412% since introducing this. And if we look at that at a real operating level, what we can recognize there is, well, we definitely know our teams were not offering syrup with every coffee. And that's okay, by the way. We've looked at the problem, we've implemented a solution, and actually we've made life easier for our teams and our guests as well by implementing this, just something as simple as syrups. And that does come through to every single upsell in the rest of the menu as well.
What do you feel has been the most unexpected benefit?
That's a good one. What I've been impressed by is the reception from the guests, okay? We're a service-led brand and we remain a service-led brand. And there's this natural conflict with technology and humans, right? We see the AI landscape developing and evolving, and everyone's a little bit cautious, a little bit scared of technology. So one of the key things that we had to identify here was, how do we implement technology in the business without impacting the guest experience? And we provided all of our teams across the estate with a really strong change management program, so they could understand what we were doing, why we were doing, when we were doing it, and most importantly, strong guidance on how to adapt the guest journey. And when we implemented that, what we saw was the guest experience improved. And we know that because the NPS increased by about 9 percentage points overall, which is brilliant to see. It was unexpected to see it go much further than where its base level was, because humans don't like technology. What we have seen is the uptake in general on these tablets is anywhere between 65 to 90% in our restaurants. What that shows us is not only are our teams ready, but guests are actually ready to transact like this as well.
Fantastic. What would you say the one thing that Cape Media, our solution, does very well, probably better than your best colleague on their best day?
I think consistency would be the answer there. And the reason for that is we all have good days and we all have bad days as humans, right? I have them as well. And what we can't expect out of our teams really is to be so consistent every single day, because that's not human. What the Kate solution does for us is it ensures that every guest gets a suggestive sell, whether they take it or they don't take it. And that's just beating the consistency of a human, simply for human reasons. The Kate solution provides a level of consistency in our service, but it also is an added benefit that our teams no longer have that friction point. And I've managed plenty of restaurants where I've said, come on, you need to upsell more, sell those brownies, sell those fudge cakes. And it's friction, right? It's management friction. These tablets help us remove that by simply letting the guests just choose what they want.
Fantastic. So if this disappeared tomorrow, what would be the first thing that would break?
I think the first thing we would definitely notice is that suggestive selling would immediately disappear. We'd be back to an older way of working, which is friction with the team to deliver consistent suggestive selling. For example, the coffee syrups example I gave, would be returning to that. So every transaction, therefore, with coffee that is currently having that syrup sold with it, we lose 75p a go, and that's a significant amount of money across the business. So yeah, that's probably what would break first.